Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Hunter Munn, and this is American Truck Simulator.
I am also Ryan, and
Yeah.
I am here for
That's
some
true.
reason.
Ryan is also here. This is supposed to be Modern Warfare for PlayStation 4, but I have a story to tell. Molly says hello, YouTube. So, I'm going to be making an urgent delivery to Montana, and I'm doing this instead of playing Modern Warfare with Daniel. Why? Oh, let me start at the beginning. So, last night, I began installing Modern Warfare for the PS4 reboot of Modern Warfare, not the good one. Oh, but anyway. And the good one being the original trilogy, thank you, obviously. But in any event, I don't know about game companies, like, how little effort do you have to put... Side note real quick. How little effort you gotta have in your game series... How little effort you gotta have in your game series where you, like, reuse the same subtitle? I'm looking at you, Need for Speed. There are 3 games called Most Wanted. Like, what the fuck? In any event... last night I began installing Modern Warfare PS4 on my PS5. And it installed, and it did so relatively quickly. And then I tried to start the game, and it was like, oh, you need to download the update. And I was like, bitch, why didn't you do that when I was downloading it? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't Sony platforms goddamn download the fucking... where am I going? I'm going right. This delivery is going wonderful right now. I'm so angry and distracted. We're gonna go on a magical trucking adventure. Okay. So first of all, download the whole game by downloading the patch for the game that should have already been downloaded but wasn't downloaded when I told you to download the game. Because why would you... See, here, let me... Real question, though. Like, why not? Why is the patch something you have to download separately at the start of, like, when you're downloading a game for the first time? Why is the patch separate, first of all? I get that you should be able to opt into downloading older versions of the game, maybe, or installing older versions of the game, but, like, why not just make it all part of the same thing? Like, why not make it so that you have to specifically go to a menu and download the old versions of a game if that's actually what you want to play? I don't get it. It's very stupid, I think. Very archaic. At least I didn't have to download the install to install the installer to download the install to install the download. Like...
It's... Yes.
PlayStation 3 bullshit. Alright.
That is bullshit.
And then turn...
In any event... so I get the game open, and when everything is updated, quote unquote. So of course it doesn't say Modern Warfare on it. It says Modern Warfare Warzone Attack of the Mercenaries or whatever the fuck it's called right now. And I'm looking at the game screen going, I didn't need Warzone. Is Warzone in here? I just needed Modern Warfare, you dumbass. Like... Seriously, just download Modern Warfare. So it looks like it's patched the game to, like, whatever the current version of Warzone is, I assume. Because if Warzone was no longer accessible on the version of the game I have, why would it have installed it? So it's probably the newest version, I guess, maybe? And... okay. So I click the cross button to go on in. And it's like, I need you to log into your Activision account. I'm like, I didn't pick what mode I wanted to play. I don't want to play Warzone. I want to play the regular game. Molly says, also, I'm pretty sure they do that so people can play the patch they prefer to play. Well, no, Molly, because you don't get to pick the patch. Your choices are to not download the patch. I'm sorry, is this exit closed off?
Exit right.
I hate you all. I'm having an urgent delivery. Go fuck yourselves.
Keep
Run.
and then turn left.
You gotta care about the little people.
turn left.
Wow, that 18-wheeler was crunched in the middle. Why am I... What the hell? What's wrong with my turning radius? Everything is malfunctioning today. Keep in mind, this is all happening at, like, around midnight. Around midnight, 1 a.m. my time. So, okay. So I go into the game, and the game is like, log into your Activision account. I'm like, okay. I log in with my email address. I give it a password that doesn't work. I give it another password that doesn't work. I say, fuck it. I look it up on my iPhone because everything is stored in my goddamn iPhone. And I type in that password, which, funnily enough, the first password I tried, so it works the second time. You know how passwords are sometimes. In any event.
Yeah.
I get into it, and it's like, whoa, you can't just be linking your account to another account that exists that is the account that you have that you're trying to link to. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not trying to link an account. Just let me log in. It's like, whoa, you're trying to link an account. You can't just be linking an account with that already exists. Bitch, I'm not trying to link an account.
Get ready.
What the fuck are you talking about? Just let me play the goddamn game. Well, it says that is how it works. Haha, used to intentionally uninstall specific patches containing... I have a lot more weight on this vehicle, and I don't care about this sign right now. I'm in too bad of a mood to care about all the damages I might be incurring. Certain bug fixes actually make my favorite aspects of the game, like the legendary patch of Skyrim fixes the Origin Infinity bug. Now, Molly, I don't need you sharing disinformation in the chat, okay? I don't believe that they patched Skyrim. I find that difficult. I can't believe that. No one has patched Skyrim. You can't just be coming in here and talking about things that have never happened in the history of the universe.
Holy shit.
Fucking goddamn Skyrim. That game has been out for like 11 fucking years, and I don't know that it's ever been patched.
Turn left.
I love
Do I need that recruitment agency? I don't right now. I don't care. I don't think I need to collect them in American Truck Simulator. You can love Skyrim all you want, but you know what? It's a buggy fucking game. Also, Molly, you know I'm playing with you. I'm just in a bad mood. Okay, so I'm like, what the fuck is this activate? So it's like it gives me an on-screen thing that says go to this website to find out what's going on. And I'm like, well, at this point, I'm very invested in what the fuck is going on because I haven't been able to get past the start screen. So I'm like, okay, go to the website. Now, let me tell you my favorite, and that's sarcasm, by the way, my favorite thing about any of these game prompt things that tell you to go to a specific website, that shit never leads to the support page or the answer to your goddamn question, ever. Like, it never works. It leads you to the website, sure, very often it'll take you to the game site, it'll take you to, like, your profile login, or something, but it won't actually take you to the thing that's going to help you figure out what your problem is and figure it out. It took me to, like, the Activision front page, and I was like, oh, you goddamn it. Like, I ended up going to, like, support and looking around, and you know that thing you do in support page? Hold on, Molly says, I guess it's an update, but yeah, they added the ability to legendary on your skills. They fixed that bug and made it very unfun. Wait. They fixed the ability to level up? Because, yeah, technically Skyrim got patched when you installed, like, one of the 3 DLCs that let you go to Morrowind? I don't remember where.
I think you're thinking of ESO Online.
No, there's a DLC for Skyrim which takes you to a different location, which is a location from a previous game in the series.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah.
Keep right.
They fixed the Ogma Infinity bug. All right, Molly, I'm gonna trust what you're talking about. I did that thing I did with Skyrim that I did with Fallout, which was I paid for all the DLC and then basically never played it.
Yeah. Oh man, you just gave Bethesda your money.
That's okay. I never have to give them my money again because I have Game Pass.
Yes! Starfield for free, baby! Well, free with Game Pass.
I mean, it's not free. You have a big expensive rental you have to do.
Oh, it's not that bad. I mean, not well if you're not working and have no income.
Garden State, 6 of
Every
11. It is no. If I discovered a new viewpoint, neat. I will probably have to hit that for an achievement, but right now, don't care. So okay, so I'm in the website. I'm looking around support, and what I was saying was, so you know that thing you have to do on support websites where you like where you have to hit the little bubble because supposedly most of the users have sensible problems that can be fixed with a few clicks. But you have to do that hunt and peck search to figure out which one of the problems might be yours because your first, second, third, fourth choices are not the answer to they're not the question, and they don't have the answer to your problem. You know what I'm talking about on support websites? I'm sure you've experienced this. Or back in the day, you know, Windows, or still even to this day I should say, but like basically the Windows thing where you're like, maybe they want me to ask this question, maybe they want me to ask that question. Montana has nice roads for America, I'll be totally honest. I'm not used to roads being this nice. And it looks like they're still working on stuff.
Go straight on.
I'm on a pretty nice road right now.
Well, I mean, like they're very interesting. They're very asymmetrical. They've got white lines on the road. They've split it in certain ways. They've got one-way streets a lot. Like, feels a little bit like Ithaca, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so I try a couple of things that are on the website. All right, Molly says, Alchemy Infinium, talking about Skyrim, was a book that gave you 5 levels of each skill in one of the 3 types, but they found a bug where you could view, store, and use that book at the same time. Hold on. I'm not shifting gears correctly. If you did it successfully, you could get skill upgrades, and they didn't count the book being used, so you could do it over and over again. That sounds like a pretty fun bug. Oh, you know what, Molly? I hear what you're talking about. And I got a correlation for you. Look up the JP glitch in Final Fantasy Tactics. That's what that sounds like. The JP is job points in Final Fantasy Tactics, and there's a way of basically activating a skill with job points you have, holding onto, I think, like select or something like that, and picking multiple options in the same window for the same points that you just spent on something else that was more expensive. And it allows you to like get through the skill classes like much quicker. Like it sounds like that. It's one of those. The good old glitchy bug items. Okay. So I keep doing the support website for a few minutes until the point where it's like, alright, so you've got 2 ways of getting a hold of people. The quickest way I found, some user says, is to do Twitter support for Activision. Okay, I start with that. But you know what? After like 30 minutes, I was like, well, doesn't seem like anything's going to happen, so like I didn't get any even like a bot response at that moment. We'll come back to that. Bookmark that for a second. And I went back to the support website and I opened up support and I opened up a ticket and I'm like, okay, here's my problem. And okay, so that thing is open. I'm not expecting anybody to look at that until morning. But then I get a like on my post on Twitter, and then I get another like,
And then turn right.
and I start getting replies from bots about my post that I put on the Activision support Twitter, saying, hey, you can contact this hashtag or this @ symbol on Twitter, and so will help you, and that really helped me. It helped me do, like, they're not even talking about my issue. They're talking about, like, I got banned, and I'm trying to get help, da-da-da, and it worked out great for me, blah-de-blah, you know, and it's like, it's really clearly that the bots are farming my poking at Activision support
Go straight on.
to try and sell me stuff. And as of the start of this stream, I have gotten like 7 likes and 12 different bots responding to my message. And not a single message from Activision as of, let's call it 12 hours have passed. Okay. Now, I woke up this morning to an email from Activision. And Thomas R.
Go straight on.
May not be real name, but we're just going to go with it. That's why I have no problem saying it on stream. Thomas R. Hey, you know, for all I know, he's in India, man. It might not be his real name. Okay, so Thomas R. responds, and Thomas does that classic technical support thing where you're just following the walkthrough in front of you, and he latches on to something I said in the thing about how, like, I did that thing where I give, like, the detailed explanation on this screen for this account with everything spelled out, blah, 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 playing the PS4 version on the PlayStation 5, and here's my screen name and my Activision account information, yada, yada, like, being pretty specific about it. And Thomas comes back like any good tech support person, and by any technical support person, I'm, of course, being sarcastic again. I'm talking about the ones who are just following, like, they're fresh out of, what do we call it? When you're still learning the system, whatever.
Breach?
No. The trainee level of technical support. There was something that we called the aisle back at Caltech. But in any event, so his response is, "Oh, you seem to be having trouble with your two-step authentication. Why don't you try going in and disconnecting and this, that, and the other?" And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just being able to play the goddamn game. Like, I respond, I'm like, Thomas, I need you to listen to me. Well, okay, I don't say, Thomas, I need you to listen to me because that's a bad opening. But it's what I'm thinking as I'm typing. Because I mentioned that I use two-step authentication, but that's not the problem. I forgot to mention, I didn't even have two-step authentication last night. And as somebody who has two-step authentication on everything, when I went past the first page last night in Activision login on the game, it was like, hey, or when I went to the website was like, hey, you don't have two-step authentication. I was like, gasp. I should put that on. I'm clearly going to be playing some Call of Duty games. I need that stuff. Molly says training. Yeah, training is the aisle, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, hold on. Are my lights off? No, but my turn signal's on.
They really need to add an indicator on the HUD so you know if both your lights are on or your turn signal is still on.
I mean, I'd like a lot of indicators on the hub. I'd like RPMs and stuff like that actually visible on screen. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because I have to do it by ear, and that mostly works, but it doesn't entirely work. Like right now when I'm like, you know, just like distracted talking about other things, or like I'm not computing anything I'm driving past, or like that there's a wreck coming up or something. Failed to visit the way station? Wait, I thought... Oh, wait, that's a double negative. Fuck. Alright, so I'm just fucking up this entire trip.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, the indicator for do you skip this way station is not red to indicate the way station is closed. It's green to indicate that you can skip the way station. I know, it doesn't make a lot of sense in my head. But in any event, no, Molly, I'm kind of stuck now. What was it called? We called the aisle something specific. You were in training, but I don't remember. In any event,
question for you about this 100-month once if an opportunity presents itself.
All right, bookmark that. Let me get this entire ramble out before this recording ends.
Right.
Huh, the train blew its horn. I've never had that before. I don't know why it's blowing its horn there, but it certainly is doing a thing. Okay. So And I'm like, Thomas, please. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't have two-step authentication until last night when the website asked me, and I put it on, and that part works. Okay, so the first part I was talking about where you put in your email address and then your password, and then it would give me the error message, right? Well, when I did two-step authentication, I put my email and my password, it would go, oh, okay, now give me the two-step authenticator 6-digit password. I'm like, oh, okay, let me do that. And then it gave me the error message again. So the two-step authentication is clearly working, as is the password for the login, because its problem is that it thinks I've got my account logged into something else, and to reiterate, I have basically an email address and oh, god damn it, this shit's a lot heavier than it looks, and I just slid through the intersection. So red light violation. Let's just keep going. I have an urgent delivery anyway. It's fine. Drop 5 frames over the last 2 minutes. Great, 5% of frames. That's great. Let's have more frame droppage while we're at it. I'm feeling the in-game frame drops. Okay, so that's clearly not the problem. And now I've been handed off to somebody else for technical support, Vladimir. Thomas replies with more stuff that isn't what I need, and Vladimir is like... Vladimir seems like the more next-level tech. The person who jumps into the email chain basically going, hold on, this other tech isn't helping this person, let me jump in here. So I'm talking to Vladimir now, and Vladimir at the start of the actual start of stream, which is the 20 minutes missing from the beginning of this recording, because stream was not functioning correctly with ATS, which I hope it's not about to do. Kalispell discovered. The last best place 1 of 15. The last best place 1 of 15? Oh, I'm actually in Montana now. Oh wait, I've never been in Montana, so I've never seen that achievement before. I was very confused. And so that's why we're playing American Truck Simulator, is because all of this was getting done so that I could play Modern Warfare with Daniel in co-op today at around this time, and maybe we'll get lucky and Daniel will show up in voice chat, and probably won't. But hey, Ryan, if you're able to access the Discord, if you could like poke Daniel and see if that's the case at some point, just ask him, hey, would you show up in voice? Otherwise, that's pretty much the end of the technical support thing. I'm gonna check for Vladimir again after this run is done, and we'll see what happens. But otherwise, what was your question, Ryan?
I was wondering if you could help me get a technical support job, if that is something that I would be qualified for. Did you leave your last job on good terms, and how long did you work there?
I worked at Teleperformance for a year, a month, and a day. And they fired me... I'm sorry? Oh, those stoplights are not aligned. I actually got honked at for not going green through the intersection. That's never happened before. To the best of my recollection, anyway. So, Teleperformance, okay, Ryan, so here's something that happens in the workforce sometimes. Sometimes you are penalized for being too good of an employee.
Really? So you think that's what it was?
I mean, well, first of all, I know that's what it was, but I'm just trying to express to you sometimes that's what happens. So remember that most bosses want you to be excellent, and most employers want you to do as much as you can for as little as you can get paid. But the problem is that if they have things in place where you might get like an automatic raise, then they will find an excuse to get rid of you because they can't not give you the raise, and they hate that. And that's where I was. So over the course of the year, I got elevated from Tier 1, which is just taking your basic tech support calls, to tier 2, which is which basically means that when they want to say they're getting you to a manager to help you with your problem, that they can transfer it to me and say I'm a manager. That's what tier 2 is. Tier 3 is mostly dealing with business. I skipped that. And eventually I got promoted to tier 4. There's a truck just sitting in this intersection. I don't know why. Tier 4 was Save Desk. Save Desk is the person in technical support that you get to when you are angry, irate, and threatening to cancel your service, and they need somebody to try and win you back over so that you don't cancel. Because they want your money. And this was for Bell South Fast Access, and they got turned into AT&T again while I was there. So that's all the same thing. Okay. Continuing my urgent delivery. So I've already made it to Save Desk, and basically at the end of the year, I've gotten a $1 raise already within the year, and by the end of the year, I'm basically on track to absolutely get a 75-cent or $1 an hour raise. So when asked, can I change my schedule for something, because I'm trying to fix around my sleeping conditions and whatnot, without telling me, the higher ups changed my schedule. Now there's a points-based system in this place, and you get dinged for being late to work, and or not doing a no-call, no-show, or what have you. And so I got dinged for a week and a half for being late to work because they slid my schedule and had 1 hour. So technically speaking, I was coming to work 1 hour late and leaving work 1 hour late.
Right.
And nobody bothered to tell me that I was late. Like, nobody ever bothered to say that this was happening. I had to find it out on my own. And I went and complained to people, and I tried to get it fixed. And I just had to basically, you have to do stuff like do well and come to work on time, and then you'll get the ability for your points to like roll off. But you also get more points against you for consecutive point hits. So they just did this without telling me that. So they changed my. Oh no. I don't need a train right now. Can I go through? I made it. Okay.
Go straight on.
I guess the guardrail things hadn't dropped yet. I don't know if there are any. Doesn't look like there are any. In any event, lots of train happening right now. So basically, what ended up happening, they fired me the first day of December, when I was looking forward to having a Christmas bonus and money for Christmas. And you know, Christmas in general. They fired me because I had too many points, and even though I was a really good employee with really good reviews, one of the managers said I had done something on a computer, gone to a website or something, which I had not done. And it was my word versus hers. And I was like, I definitely didn't do that. And you know, well, it was my word versus hers. And why would so-and-so lie to me? You have so many points on your thing, so you're not as good an employee as you think you are. And I'm like, I didn't get those points on my system. You guys did that to me. That's the only job I've worked at that I was escorted out of the building.
Wow. Okay, so that kind of answers my question. They're probably not going to give you a favorable recommendation.
Oh, that's what made me think of telling the story, Ryan. So here's the thing. Even with all of that, I basically was well off with my original manager and had done well, and I hadn't done anything major to like make it so that I couldn't get rehired. it was just an accumulation of points, and I was a bad employee, and they let me go, right? So I could be rehired in like 3 to 6 months or something like that. When I went back in 3 to 6 months because I wanted that job left, and I had good money, so I was like, I had money saved up. Like, when I make money, I save money, and often when I don't have money, I still save money. So I had saved money, and I had a little bit to coast on, and so, you know, I was coasting, and then I was prepared to take the job back, because I was like, you know what, I'm good at this job, I like the job, let me try and get the job back. And when I went to go back, they had put me into the system as something to do with basically, but they put me down as something that made it so I couldn't be rehired. Even though I heard from them from HR when I left that wouldn't be the case and I could be rehired. So
a bit of dishonesty going on there, sounds like.
Yeah, and that is not uncommon in our late stage capitalistic society. So that was some shit. That's what made me think of that. It was like, so let me go on good terms. Yeah, they let me go on good terms after fucking me over and getting me fired in the first place. And then they made it so I couldn't be rehired without telling me until I showed up to be rehired. And like I said, I was at Save Desk, so like I was, of the people in the building, I was basically in the best of the best category. Like, people solve big business problems, that's one thing, that tier 3. But man, when you can get somebody to like talk them down from yelling at you as the evil corporation, and you can like waive the fee for their modem or get them to like, just because all the companies care about, like, if you've ever back in the day tried to cancel America Online, I at one point I had America Online free for like a year and a half, because every time my service was going to come up, I was going to be like, I called up and said I couldn't pay for it, and they're like, oh well, I mean, you think you'll be able to in the future? What if we floated it for you for like a month or 2 or 3? And you'd say yes, because they want the future prospect of having your money. So, but they don't have proper notes, I guess. So I got that chained multiple times, and I was not the only person doing that, because they want to keep your money. And the same thing was true. So that's the whole reason Save Desk exists, is so that they can keep you and keep your money. Hold on, Molly, I'm having some S-curves at night. Molly says, yeah, that happened to me at a job when I had to leave long-term medical emergency. Right, yeah. Well, I mean, in America, they can fire you for not coming into work when you have a doctor's note for giving birth. If you're not back in the office in like 48 hours after giving birth, you can be fired. Which, I don't know, seems exceedingly fucked up, I would say. Ryan, can you see the chat? Can you read Molly's paragraph? I am having S-curves at night.
I left because of my blood disease and was going to be gone for 6 months. They told me they'd hold my position for me, and when I came back, the same supervisor refused to speak to me, and got someone else to tell me that I was put in the system as not rehirable. Well, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, there you go, not rehirable. Like, corporations are amoral fuckers, by and large. You may like what some companies do about some stuff. Like, people always used to say how I was like an Apple fanboy and they could do no wrong. And to be clear, that's never happened. Apple has done a lot of wrong over the years, and I've always noticed it. But I can still say, you know, one, that they've got like slave wage workers working in China, and 2, they're going like 100% carbon neutral and just powering everything by like solar panels for all of their facilities, and they're going all green energy and all green on the like the recycled aluminum that their machines are made of, and all the materials that go into it, yada yada. Like, both of those things can be true. They can be doing stuff to help the environment, and they can also be employing people at like slave wages. Like, both of those things can be true. So, like, do I think that Microsoft is a benevolent corporation? No. But do I think that when it comes to game players, have they come to the seeming understanding that the long-term goal is to do right by the players because it'll make them more money in the long run? That's the whole reason that Apple has like the highest customer service satisfaction, is because it helps them retain customers, so the customers can buy more stuff from them. Like, it's not totally like without like goodness for the sake of goodness, but it is goodness with a purpose. Molly says, I helped design 4 of their new sales and marketing systems, and the store's production and sales went up by 66% with me as supervisor. It's not like I didn't put in the work. Right, I was at Save Desk, same thing. Now that I'm not there, they almost shut down all of their stores and there's only 3 left in the whole state. Well, that sounds like, karma. It wasn't a bad business decision to get rid of you. Like, I'm having concerns because I'm in a comfortable state right now because of the money that comes in, primarily because of the stepdad, but also because of the way my mom pays me for doing work for her home business and stuff like that. But at the same time, stepdad's about to retire, and he got a serious medical bout recently. I won't say what of, in part because I don't actually remember, but it was like a cancer. But he's recovering, and they were like, yeah, take as much time as you need. And then when he came back, he didn't have his office anymore. He had a little cubicle, and he was on like notice for being a bad employee for missing all those days. And that's what you get for working at a job for like 45 fucking years. You've basically had one job out of high school that you've been promoted and trained up and...
Can I make an observation before you continue, please?
Sure. 1 second. Molly also says, does he have a government job? No, stepdad does not have a government job.
Exit right.
Okay. You realize I asked you 2 questions. We've been talking about this for 5 minutes. I mean,
I don't know if I realize that. I might not realize that. You can't depend on that.
You somehow did answer my questions. I think. Well, it's easy enough for me to gather that probably you could not get me a job at this company because according to them,
go straight on.
It sounds like you are unhireable with them again. So
every company is a separate entity, Ryan.
Please, let's then we can continue. But essentially, how do I say this? Essentially, you would not be able to offer a recommendation since you are not in good standing as far as their books and their records are
Ryan,
concerned.
You're in a different state. Granted, Caltech has locations all over, or at least they did. But the truth is that when you call up somebody like... Well, when you call up any technical support, generally those are not in-house technical support. I think Apple's are, but that's because you have to pay, like, money to get to Apple's technical support so they can actually, like, pay employees. So Bell South Fast Access, or Fast Access itself, had like multiple third-party companies, in this case, like I said, Teleperformance, who were working underneath them. So even if I worked for them and things were not unhireable at the end there, and even if that wasn't the case, there's no guarantee that even a company named Teleperformance that may or may not be in your state, that me having a good word would mean anything. I will say that the real trick about can you do technical support is, one, if you can follow instructions at the training portions of class, then you can do the technical support, but you might do it as bad as Thomas from earlier in the conversation. Like, you might do that. But if you actually know stuff about computers like I do, then you don't necessarily need any of the walkthroughs. You can do it all leaning back in your chair, not looking at the screen, not reading the script, and just helping people. And then you'll get put up on Save Desk. So, can you do the job? Yes. Can you do it as well as I can? I can't say. I don't know what your technical support savvy is. Based on our experience, it doesn't seem very, very deep. Let's see. Molly says, I might be lost. Is Ryan trying to get you to help him get a job? Yes. That was Ryan's question. To go back to your last... Well, okay, Ryan has a second question, but we'll get to that in a second just to make sure. But Molly, to your point, my stepdad does not have a government job. What he has is a job in which he was working for what used to be Amico Quality Products, and is now 2 companies later absorbed into a international company called Sove, and he has been working. At one point, there were going to be layoffs in like the early 2000s, and there were lots of layoffs. But he had put in so much time and was willing to like go out of state to do stuff and get retrained. So he didn't see him for a while. That he actually got promoted to like a manager position, and he's been in that position or higher for those many more years. And they're still trying to fuck him over at the end here. He's just trying to get to retirement at this point. I mean, he's trying to do his job, but he's also trying to get to retirement. Ollie asked, why can't he get himself a job? I'm not sure I'm understanding. Ryan lacks confidence. Would that be fair to say, Ryan?
Go straight on.
Oh, what the hell? Where's Ryan? I lost Ryan. Ryan lacks confidence, is my answer. I checked the Discord, but obviously I'm driving. Ah, fuck it. Let's check the Discord. Please respond on Twitch if you see this. I'm still driving.
Go straight on.
Alright. What? What is honk? Oh, there's another train going by. I don't know what happened to Ryan. Ryan may have lost his connection, or he may have left because he was mad that I was not talking in a way that he let. Ryan and I have issues sometimes. I'm trying to figure out if the tires on the truck in front of me are actually turning.
Go straight on.
Oh, man. I mean, Jeff is kind of a jerk and also a transphobe, but I still don't want him to get fired. It would be kind of a dick move to fire him when he's almost done. But it also would be very American.
Keep right.
In fact, one of the quickest ways to lose your job in America is to know the limits of your job and to know those limits in the direction of your boss. I knew that my time at Pizza Hut was numbered because at one point I was asked to take the trash out from the building to the back trash bin when my shift was over, and I was like, okay, log me back in and I'll do that. And they were like, no, just take the trash out. I'm like, I'm not working off the clock. Like, it's not like they paid me enough anyway, right? I was getting paid minimum wage. I'm not going to do free work when you're already paying me minimum wage. One time I looked at my boss who asked me to do something that wasn't in my job description, way out of range, kind of obnoxiously, and I had to look at him and I said, Dave, or was it Dan? I think, was it Dan? It might have been Dan. It was Dan or Dave. And I said, you don't pay me enough for that. And no boss wants you to say that to them. Molly says, American company ethics are delusional and unkind. Yeah, pretty much. Amoral, you might say, because they're just interested in the money. Also, I hope Ryan didn't leave for the ladder. I'm still making my impression of him, and that would kind of seal it in not so great direction. Yeah, I don't know which it is.
And then turn right.
You can always... How did I get to
Turn
bad
right.
sleep already when I'm not quite at my destination?
Get ready to turn left.
One of my concerns with
Turn left.
having Ryan on the line for periods of time where we're discussing okay, all right, hold on. What is that? Oh, that's a very fancy street light. I bet that would have stopped me dead in my tracks. It's because Ryan and I have
Go straight on.
like autism spectrum conflicts. If you've ever been on the spectrum and you've had somebody else who's on the spectrum, and sometimes what you're doing just doesn't jive, like sometimes they counteract with each other and cause a problem. Ryan and I have that sometimes. We'll get into fights because like he's trying to read into my words, but I don't do subtext really. I kind of just say the words I mean. So he will draw conclusions that are not actual real conclusions of things, and that can be madly inconvenient. I'm very face valid. Right. Well, if you're always used to people who are talking to you who have, I don't necessarily want to say ulterior motives to their words, but they sugarcoat things or they try and get you to do something by leaning on a certain way. Ryan has a lot of people in his life who are trying to direct him or lead him in a certain way, which is partially for his benefit, but comes across, especially to him, as being controlling. And as a result, he kind of expects that to come from other people. So when it comes from me, and I'm, straight shooter, I say the words, and I try and correct myself when the words are not optimal. That's why I get into arguments with people about what's a remake, what's a reboot, and what's a reimagining, or what's a retelling, or whatever, is because I'm trying to be precise with my words. And, English, not always a precise language, so it's kind of detrimental. But still, it doesn't help, and we periodically butt heads. So if Ryan took me answering you rather than going to his second question, because as far as I'm concerned, priority is generally with chat when I'm doing the streaming stuff. Maybe that's the wrong call, I don't know, but I feel like it is. I feel like that is the call, is to lean on the chat. Wow, 25? 25. So if he took that as me ignoring him, I mean, we're just stipulating at this point. He may have lost his connection, and that's fine. Let me see if I can keep driving down this road. He has not responded on Discord, so it's possible he lost his internet. And that may just be what happened. I don't know. I also hope so. But like for example, on the Discord, sometimes you might wait. I'm getting tired. How did this happen? Okay. You may have noticed that occasionally, possibly if you read any of the channels that like you're not part of the conversation of like in the currently offline thing, when I'm trying to talk to Daniel about like, hey man, can you get together for this at this time? It's because, you know, Daniel works or is looking for a job or has obligations with his girlfriend or whatever. Ryan's schedule is a lot more open. But Ryan will keep poking in even when he's like, I'm free and available, and I don't respond to him because I just took it as him being free and available. And if I don't respond to him, then he'll keep coming into the conversation while I'm trying to talk to Daniel. Because if Ryan's schedule is open and free for him to do stuff, then I don't need to interact with that until we figured out what Daniel's free time is, because Daniel's the one we need to set the schedule to. I wouldn't necessarily normally be streaming at 1 p.m. I had to make a decision. And you know, this is another Twitch-based decision I've had to make here, because as much as I would like to stream at all odd times of the day whenever I felt like it, playing Stellaris or American Truck Simulator or something like that, you have to have a schedule if you're doing story stuff, and you have to have a schedule if you want to post it on Twitch. You can't, for example, go up to Twitch and say, sometime on this day, I think I'll be playing this game or these 3 or 4 games or whatever. Like, you can't do that. So, if you want your schedule to show up on Twitch, you can bypass the nearest way station, have a good journey. Okay. I saw that one. Hover discovered. So I have to pick a schedule both so that people know when to show up for like story stuff on stream, but I also have to pick a schedule because if I don't know exactly what time I'm going to start, then technically there's nothing I can post on Twitch. And that's super inconvenient. I didn't get close enough to that question mark to trigger it. Man, I hope I don't have to do those things. This got kind of like work ahead of me. Looks like my turn is on my left up ahead.
Go straight on.
Dropped 5% of frames over the last 2 minutes. Yeah, I can feel that. Look, you little shit. Avoid sleeping violation. There's not even a sleeping place near here. If you want to catch the full shenanigans that happens between these recordings and otherwise, try and catch me live at twitch.tv/HunterMon if you happen to be watching later on YouTube. I shouldn't be the part where I doze. You know what? Maybe I'll just pay the thing for getting towed again, like I did in Euro Truck.
And then turn left.
It'll cut down on the work I have to do. I'm very grumpy. I'm very grumpy today.
Turn left.
I can avoid, yeah, because of the avoid sleep, and I'm gonna start crashing into things.
It's all over now.
Where do you need it? Okay, that's a place you could need it. These frame rate hiccups are very distracting. 5% of frames. I lose the most frames when I'm going slow. Avoid sleeping violation. Shut the fuck up. Something is wrong with my turn. Hold on. Something is wrong with my turning. Did that partially correct. I may have done it actually correct. Why are my tires not turning back fast enough? This has been happening this entire stream. Ryan says, sorry, I just abruptly left. I had something to deal with. Probably won't be back at this point. Things I have to take care of today before my event this evening. Okay, Ryan. We were wondering what happened. I was worried that you had cut out because you thought I wasn't answering you or something. But have a good one, man. Hopefully I'll see you in the future. God damn it. I'm losing so much money from... You know what? It's just like real life. I'm losing so much money from not sleeping properly. Is that good enough? It is good enough. Cool. Oi! Alright. Truck manager. Get a truck. What was I doing? Peterbilt? Buy online. Okay, next thing I'll need will be a new garage. Whoa! Hello, Daniel. That's probably worthwhile. Got some really good employees on the block today. Can I tell that everybody's happy? Is that a thing? Alright, for everybody who's watching later on YouTube, I would like to thank you for watching. This has been American Truck Simulator, presented by Improvision Entertainment. I've been Hunter Munn, Daniel was with me before, and Molly's out there in the chat. And we will see you in the future. Have a good one. Have a better one than I'm having. And I hope you and your friends and family are safe. Well, your loved ones. Which may not include your family. Alright, bye-bye.